doggy, do we have a lot to talk about in this video. First of all, I apologize for my disappearance. I had a death in the family. It was very sudden. I needed some time to kind of get my head around things and kind of deal with some emotions. So I thought it's just best to take some time off. And I just wasn't really up to coming and updating anybody. Sorry. Unfortunately, of course, I missed the openings of a whole bunch of stuff. And as we roll into December, I just need to kind of get everybody caught up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you caught up to now with these videos. I'm going to do a series of videos over the next couple of days, and I'm splitting them up into markets, decorations, and things to do. Today we're going to start with markets because that's probably one of the bigger things that people are going to do during the holiday season. So this particular video is going to be long because there's quite a bit of it. So let's jump right into markets, decorations, and fun. Oh my. So I have a lot of ground to cover here. Most of it is in Europe. But before we get started, if you are new here, hi, welcome. I am Gretchen, the Tipsy Travel Gal. I'm a licensed esthetician and a travel agent. It's my goal to eat, drink, and spa my way around the world. Now, I will show you some really cool things while I'm on my journeys, some fun things to do, some delicious things to eat, and of course, drink. Yes, it's Christmas time, so the Christmas gnome has to make an appearance today. My goal is, of course, to inspire you to travel, whether that be domestic or international. Now, if that sounds like something interesting to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Now, before we jump into this huge list of markets, I am not omnipotent. I don't know everything that goes on around the world. I wish I did, but I don't. Actually, I probably don't want to, but that's a whole other thing to talk about in general. And of course, pretty much every major city has a Christmas market. The markets and things that I'm highlighting are things that have special, either they're special to me or they're really well known, or there is something very unique about them. Now, if there is a market that you know of that you think I should focus on, please do not be angry at me. Just go ahead and either comment below or you can contact me on social media. I'll get to that at the end of this video, but no hostility. It's Christmas, people. So now that I have all of that fun stuff out of the way, I am going to be putting up a lot of information around my head, including the hours they are open and costs of things as I know of them. I won't be putting up every cost, but you know, I'm going to try to give you as much information as I possibly can. Now, if I don't mention cost, that means it's free. But remember, these are Christmas markets, so you can go for free, but that doesn't mean you can eat, drink, and buy stuff for free because keyword there, buy. So just know that you can freely walk around a lot of these markets. I will let you know if you have to pay an entry fee. But if you want gifts or ornaments or food or drink, and you definitely want to make sure you hit those Christmas punches, make sure you have money with you. I would highly recommend having some cash as well as a card, because some people take only cash, some people take only cards. So just have a blend of both with you just in case. Now, let's get started. We're going to begin in the good old US of A, in our nation's capital. Now, you may have heard of Enchant before, and there are actually like 5 more Enchants going around the country. This one just happens to be the largest one, and I'm pretty sure it goes on every year as well. So they always bring it back to Washington, D.C. Enchant is at Nationals Park, and it's got a whole bunch of really cool things to do. There is a light maze. There's a Christmas village, which of course is where all of your shopping takes place. If you're like me, you like to shop. And it's really cool. They have ice skating, but it's not like this just big rink. It's an actual ice skating trail. So they have like all of these Christmas decorations set up, and you like skate around the trail. That is something that's actually quite unique, and one of the reasons why I always highlight Washington, D.C. as well as the fact that it's our nation's capital. Now, the big guy, Santa's going to be there, and you can, of course, take photos with him. There is a very large kids area where they can partake in crafts and a whole bunch of other fun. This is something else that's very unique about Enchant, is that they have theme nights. For example, there's Paws and Claws, where you can take your furry friends with you to enjoy the Christmas market. There's ladies' nights, college night, military night, and then, of course, everybody's favorite, Holiday Ugly Sweater Night. So there are definitely a lot of really interesting things to do in Washington, D.C. during the holidays, so make sure you stop at Enchant if you're there. Now, let's head to Europe. Obviously, Germany and Austria are like the place to go for your Christmas market. So we're going to start in Austria, in particular Salzburg, at the Salzburger Christkindlmkt. It's held in the Salzburg Old Town World Heritage Site, and it really focuses on Salzburg folk culture and customs. That's why it's held in Old Town. Now, they have your traditional stands and products, and they really focus on regional delicacies. And I cannot stress this enough. When you are traveling abroad, going to these Christmas markets, try some of these holiday delicacies because it will be things that you will not forget. They also do have an ice skating rink if that's your thing. And then after Christmas is over, on the 27th, it turns into a New Year's Eve market. And on New Year's Eve itself, there is music and dancing and, of course, a huge fireworks show. I've got a lot of other German-speaking markets to go to, but I'm feeling a little French right now. So let's go to Bruges, Belgium. Now, Brussels is like the center of stuff in Belgium, but Bruges is very similar to it. It's Brussels, but it's more intimate because not as many people go to Bruges as goes to Brussels. And they turn the entire city into a Christmas market and fairy tale destination. Their winter glow has ice skating, the Christmas market with your shopping and your food, and a light trail. And of course, what's the specialty there? Your waffles and your hot chocolate, so do not miss getting those if you are going to Bruges for the Christmas market. But we might as well talk about Brussels because it's Brussels Winter Wonders. Now, Winter Wonders is kind of spread throughout the city. I mean, it's condensed, but it's in multiple locations. The Grand Place is where the large tree is, as well as the nightly sound and light show. The Place de Brucaire, that's where the large ice rink is at. If curling is your thing, you want to go to the Place de la Monnaie. Now, obviously, the highlights in Belgium in general are waffles and chocolate. If you're in the Grand Place, that is tons of chocolatiers that are there that have stores. Most of them, that is where their flagship store is at. There are also tons of places to get waffles, and if you're smart, you're going to get waffles with chocolate on them. The hot chocolate is another thing to miss. There are also a couple amazing breweries that sit on the Grand Place, so there is a ton of stuff to do there. The Grand Place itself is free. I didn't see any monetary amounts for the ice skating or the curling, but be prepared. Again, I would have a range of cash and cards for the vendors that are participating in the market. Now, since I'm feeling French, why don't we go to France and we're going to go to Gay Paris. Now, this is on the main plaza between the Saint-Eustache and the Chalet Les Halles. So the entire street, the entire plaza is lit up with Christmas lights. And if you walk the entire plaza and end up at the Chalet Les Halles, there is a Canapé des Halles, and that is where the main Christmas tree for this Christmas market is located. Now, they too have Belgian waffles, but of course they also have some delicious sausages that you want to try while you're there. Of course, you cannot forget the vin chaud, which is the hot mulled wine. Now, I mentioned the canapé, so that is where a large sparkling Christmas tree is located. It is actually also undercover, but that's also, if you decide to go to the Forum Les Halles, there is a whole bunch of shopping and dining options available for you if you're in that area. The Marché de Noël de Saint-Germain is also in Paris. Now, this market is located on the Boulevard Saint-Germain-des-Prés, which is basically, it runs along the left bank along the Seine, and it's between the Latin Quarter and the Eiffel Tower, so between the Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame. Now, in this area, there is some chic shopping and tons of Parisian restaurants. All of the chalets have gourmet and artisanal products in them. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to leave Paris, but we're staying in France. We're going to go to the Strasbourg Christmas Market. Now, if you don't know anything about Strasbourg, it sits very close to the German border. It has a lot of German influences. It is a beautiful city. And in the middle of it, they set up a very large Christmas tree. All of the streets are lit up, and they have Advent Village. Now, at Advent Village, you're going to find a whole bunch of sweet treats, focusing on things like gingerbread. Then you got your mulled wine or Gloch wine. And then they also have a Christmas beer there as well. Don't forget to keep your reusable mugs. I don't know if you know this about all these markets, but they have essentially mugs that you can, when you get your first drink, they're going to give you a mug, and you can either give the mug back or you can keep it, like this one that I picked up in Austria. So, I mean, they're actually really nice mugs too. So they're solid. I would highly recommend, if you're going to be Christmas market hopping, to bring a bag to put these in, and I would maybe put some towels and stuff in there so you can wrap them up, because these are, porcelain, ceramic, whatever they are, and they will break. So these also change every year. So if I go back to the same Christmas market this year, it's not going to look the same. Now, of course, in the Advent Village is where the Christmas market is, where you can buy all these delicious foods or other wares. Remember, this is an area of France that has a very German influence on it, and it's also in an amazing location. But we've avoided it long enough. Let's head to Germany. We're going to start in Ravenna Gorge at the Ravenna Gorge Christmas Market. Now, what makes this market so unique is its location, which is at the base of the Ravenna Gorge. So you essentially enter the gorge, and bridges and stuff go over the Christmas market. There is parking, but you have to hike kind of into this Christmas market. So you definitely are going to need to have some mobility. If you have mobility issues or trouble walking, this might not be the market for you. Now, it is suitable for kids, and they do have a very large arts and crafts area along with a children's program. And the food and beverage focuses on the food of the Black Forest, which, let me tell you, very yummy. Some standouts are the trout, the Black Forest ham, and of course, schnapps. Now, this particular Christmas market is on the weekends only. It runs Friday through Sunday. And you do have to book your tickets in advance. This costs €7 to get into this market. You have to book your tickets and your time slot in advance. So you actually have to pick when you're going to go. Because of the remote location and the limited amount of space there is, they actually try to monitor the people who are coming in and out of the market. And that's something you definitely need to plan for. But if this one isn't your speed, how about a castle? The Royal Christmas Market at Hohenzollern Castle. I hope I got that right. Now, this isn't necessarily a traditional Christmas market, as in you walk up on the street. This is actually a castle event. So Hohenzollern Castle is an actual castle. And they basically elaborately decorated for the Christmas holidays. The money that you're paying to get in is actually to get into the castle. Now, they also have a restaurant there that has winter delicacies that are common to this area. Now, you can go through the castle and see all of the decorations, and there is a market basically in the courtyard of the castle, but you have to go into the castle to get to the market. So again, it's not really a traditional Christmas market in that sense. It's more like a visit to see the castle, but there are market stalls outside that are going to sell very traditional German food, drinks, and of course have traditional German decorations and toys and things like that available for purchase. Now, the tickets aren't out of bounds. In fact, a family, which is 2 adults and 2 children, can go for €45. I'll list those here. But yeah, this one, like I said, isn't necessarily free. But if you want to see a castle at Christmas, this is the place to go. Next, we're going to head to Berlin for some interesting Christmas fun. Now, this market is interesting because the market organizers specifically handpick their vendors for being having a specialty and being master artisans at their craft. So if there is someone there selling glass pieces, they're a master glass blower. I think that's what it's called. Not sure, but you know what I'm saying. The market itself has very local arts being sold there. Now, along with that, there's actually a stage, and they do stage performances. There are also people who kind of wander around the market doing performances. On the main stage, you've got plays being performed. There's actually, at some point, the Berlin Ballet comes to perform. And then wandering around the market itself are a series of acrobats and jugglers. My favorite, the Nutcracker on stilts. Now, even though they're focusing on local artisans, don't think they're ignoring the food because the top chefs of Berlin are all there. They have heated eating areas for each location. You do need to make reservations. They didn't say if you had to pay for the reservations, but definitely plan ahead if you want to eat at one of these locations. The website has all of the different chefs and restaurants that are participating. It looks amazing. Now, for the most part, this market is free. There are some exceptions. The 24th through the 26th, you have to pay €2 to get in. Hopefully, that's not going to break your bank. And it's also €2 on New Year's Eve. And Berlin has one of the most amazing New Year's Eve fireworks shows, so definitely something to think. You can purchase your tickets online prior to going. There are no time spaces like the Ravenna Gorge one. But yeah, you can pre-buy your tickets so you are guaranteed a place there. I would definitely recommend it if you're going the 24th through the 26th or the 31st. Now we're going to head to Dresden. Now, this market is the oldest in Germany, and it is celebrating its 589th year. Now, this particular market is a favorite of German-speaking countries. So the Germans themselves and people who speak German, if they're going to go to one Christmas market in Germany, they usually go to this one. It is family oriented. They have a bunch of rides. They've got a 2-tier carousel. They've got a large Ferris wheel. There's the Fairy Tale Tower and the Fairy Tale Forest, which has a children's railway that goes through it. There is Santa Cinema, which has free short films throughout the day. Also free, but they do request donations. They actually would happily accept your donations to go see these short films. There is a main stage with concerts and dancing performances. And of course, Santa holds residence too. They have a huge advent calendar that they open each day. And at the advent calendar is a puppet theater. And then Santa shows up after the puppet show and he opens up the advent door every day. Now, the Fairy Tale House, which is only open until the 23rd, that's your story house. They have fairy tale hours where they cater to children, and then they have the Streizelmarkt stories, which take you into the late afternoon and evening. Now, this looks like it's free, but you do have to register to attend one of the story hours. Now, if you want your kids to do some Christmas crafts, there is the Plum Potato House. Now, apparently, the plum potato is their mascot. I'm going to tell you, I looked for pictures of this everywhere. I could not find it. So now when it comes to food, they have the Christmas bakery for kids where they can bake their own cookies, working alongside master bakers. But if cooking ain't their thing, they can go to the Crisp House where they get to decorate their cookies for a small fee. Small fee wasn't given, but it's going to be a small fee. Now, for the adults, you can go to the showroom bakery. That's where you're going to find the Dresden Christkindlmkt. Now, if you don't know what Stollen is, it is a yeast bread that contains like nuts and fruit, sometimes candied fruits, and it almost always has marzipan in it. And it's usually dusted with either a royal icing or powdered sugar. Now, you can go and watch the master Stollen makers make this and learn their tips that they have to make the perfect Stollen. And when they bake it in the wood-fired stove, they will tell you their Stollen stories. And then, of course, you get to eat. So if you're into a lot of actual activities, the Dresden Streizelmarkt is going to be the one to go to for you. Now, let's go to Stuttgart. Now, this reminded me of like an old time carnival. There are a ton of stalls and there is even a mini antique market. So if you're into antiques, you definitely want to hit this Christmas market. There is a traditional circus that goes on. And this area of Stuttgart is actually surrounded by a castle and a church. And they have concerts in both the castle and church throughout the entire Christmas market. Now, for the kids, there is your Ferris wheel. There's Children's Fairyland that has a train, a carousel. They can decorate cookies. There is a living nativity scene, which has 3 lambs, 2 sheep, and a donkey named Lucas. I'm sure that it has some pretty specific significance. I just had so many things to research. I didn't have time to research that, and now I'm kind of wishing I did. Also, there's the wishing tree. Now, if you want to know what food to eat, their bratwurst is tippity tip tip top top top. And of course, they've got the mulled wine and the Christmas punch. But this isn't the most famous one in Germany. That would be in Nuremberg. Now, this is one of the more older ones in Europe. Not as old as Dresden, but it's one of the older ones. But it is definitely one of the more famous ones in Germany and in Europe in general. The stalls are all wooden booths, and most of the decorations and definitely the items that are on sale are all handmade. There are plenty of food stalls, but if you want to look for the delicacies in this market, look no further than gingerbread and Nuremberg bratwurst. There is a children's area as well. That includes a carousel, a crafts area, and a child-size steam train. And if you're feeling like you just don't want to walk around this market, they do give stagecoach tours for an extra fee. Now, I've talked enough about Germany. Let's head to Sweden. The Stockholm Old Town Christmas Market in Stockholm, Sweden, opened on November 25th and runs all the way through December the 23rd. Now, I don't have a lot to say about this market, but I'm pointing it out because it's the oldest Christmas market in Sweden. And of course, we're talking about the Scandinavian countries where Christmas is their thing. And it's also based and it has its origins in the medieval markets. So you're going to be looking at medieval themed food, toys, crafts, decorations. So definitely something, if you're going to be in Scandinavia and you're in Stockholm, you want to swing by this one if you want a true medieval treat. We're going to do a hop, skip, and a jump over to Scotland. The Castle Street Christmas Fair is in Edinburgh, Scotland. Now, if you don't know about Castle Street, that's like the center of Edinburgh. Now, this is almost run like a fun fair. So there are fun fair rides. So think of things that you would see at your local fun fair. There is ice skating, and then of course there are Christmas stalls with food and decorations and things for sale. All of the vendors that participate here are local to Edinburgh, so you're getting a true Scottish Christmas market. Now, I happen to love Scotland, but if you're looking for something that is picturesque, let's head on over to St. Gallen, Switzerland. Now, there is not much that is more picturesque than Switzerland, which sits in the middle of the Alps. Also, St. Gallen holds a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Waghaus. That site is what hosts the Christmas market. Now, they sell things that are very unique to Switzerland. For example, Switzerland is very big with their embroidery and their lace. So they have a lot of stalls that have those things. Of course, Swiss are also known for their watches. So they have handcrafted Swiss watches for sale, as well as handcrafted ornaments that are made by local vendors. If you're looking for some interesting food, you will definitely find it here. They have a lot of local specialties, including the St. Gallen bratwurst, which is primarily veal, not exactly something that I eat a lot of, although I might try it. There's the Biberly gingerbread, which is traditional gingerbread with an almond paste in the middle. So you kind of get that really interesting mix of like that spicy gingerbread with a really sweet, delicious. There is the roasty, which is thinly grated potatoes, and then they deep fry them until they're like super crispy. You can either eat them by yourselves, or you can eat them with onions or cheese. And if you want a little sweet taste on them, you can throw some apples with them. The Swiss invented fondue. If you don't know what fondue is, traditional fondue is melted cheese in a pot, and then you cook your meats, your apples, your bread, whatever you're gonna do, and then you dip it in, and then you have that delicious fondue. The Schlubig sausages, which are made of beef and bacon. Sometimes they throw a little bit of veal in there, but what they are known for is their size. So we're talking big sausages. But, you had me at beef and bacon. So yeah, I definitely would be eating one of those. And of course, you can't forget the mulled wine. So if you're looking for a very unique Christmas market that sits in the heart of the Alps, St. Gallen Christmas Market is for you. Now, some places probably not on your radar is Lithuania, so let's head there. Now, this Christmas market is kind of spread around the town of Vilnius, but the main market and the tree are there on Cathedral Square, which is absolutely stunning. There's an ice rink, there is a Christmas train, and it's actually kind of cool because the Christmas train isn't like on tracks. It's like a cart that pulls a series of like trolleys behind it. It looks like a whole bunch of fun. Now, in terms of food, if you are a vegetarian, this is the place to be because Lithuania has 100 Christmas Eve specialties on their menu. And most of them are meatless, and many of it is vegan. So you won't be short of options for food if you're in Lithuania. One of the reasons why I picked this market is because of that aspect, but also they change the design of the Christmas tree every year. And I'm telling you, this Christmas tree, it's just like, they're just amazing. I don't know who designs them, but holy crap, these things are beautiful. So for a very unique and vegetarian experience, head to the Cathedral Square Christmas market in Lithuania. Now, let's go to Italy. Christmas is celebrating the birth of Jesus, right? So how have I not mentioned Rome until now? Well, Rome is chock full of Christmas markets, but it has a lot of markets throughout the year as well. I was in Rome during the Christmas season once. Unfortunately, this was 2021 when COVID was still very much a thing, so most of them weren't open. The Christmas and Epiphany Market in Piazza Navona is one of the best known Christmas markets in Rome. Now, it's one of the largest and incredibly beautiful markets in Italy. And one of the reasons why it is one of the most beautiful markets in Italy is because it sits in a huge square with 3 very well-known fountains. The Fountain of the Rivers, the Fountain of Neptune, and the Fontella del Moro. So this market is situated around these 3 huge pieces of art. Now, the market itself is filled with decorations and gifts. They definitely highlight the pastries there. And of course, you can't forget the holiday and hot wine. And that is what they call it, the holiday and hot wine. So I will be honest, I did not get to experience this. I'm kind of curious now because that's what they call it. Because most places will either call it spiced wine, mulled wine, spiced wine. If you're a wine lover, I would definitely give that one a shot. Now, before we leave Europe altogether, we've got one more stop, and that is, of course, again in Scandinavia. Let's head to Finland and Helsinki. Now, this is held in Senate Square. Now, this was designed as the main square of Helsinki. Now, one of the really unique things about this market is that they actually have a very extensive website, and they highlight every single market vendor that is there, that allows them to showcase their goods and explain who they are and why they do what they do, which I found that to be very amazing. Now, Santa's also there. They made it very clear that Santa needs a 30-minute break at 2:30 in the afternoon, so don't be disappointed when he gets up to stretch his legs and maybe has a little bit of that mulled wine. Now, Mrs. Claus is also there, but they don't call her Mrs. Claus. They call her, okay, I'm going to try to get this right, Julu Muori, and I think that's how it's pronounced. I apologize if it's not. I'm going to put it up here so you can see it, but that's what they call her. But she's there too. Does she get the same 30-minute break? I don't know. Probably not. Now, there's live music. There's a variety of different types of performers that are there in the Senate Square performing for the market. There are also a lot of work demonstrations. For example, they've got artisans like glass blowers that will come and show you how they blow the glass. They, rotate who's doing, they rotate these demonstrations so you can kind of catch a lot of different things if you're going on different days. There is a carousel there, and that is free. Don't forget, Santa's house is in Rovaniemi, Finland. So, if you're there, you might want to journey up north to check that out. But I am exhausted talking about European Christmas markets. Let's do one more. This is in Japan. The Yokohama Red Brick Christmas Market is in Yokohama, Japan. Now, Yokohama is about 30 minutes outside of Tokyo, so it's just a quick train ride there. It is an authentic German Christmas market. So I had to translate their website. So, Japanese doesn't necessarily directly translate. So I had to kind of gather some things, but they definitely called it an authentic German Christmas market. It also has a beautiful illumination garden. Now, at this Christmas market is unique because it has private lounges. So they are private, heated. They almost look like apartments on the market grounds that you can reserve. I'm going to assume you need to rent them. I couldn't find pricing, but I'm sure you have to rent them. But you can basically have a party or a group in this tiny little apartment. It is heated, and then you can go enjoy the Christmas market, enjoy the illuminations, and then come back and warm up in your own private lounge. Now, like most Christmas markets in Europe, there are Christmas mugs that are available. They made sure to highlight that as well. But also really interesting about this particular market is it's very technologically savvy. The Christmas market has its own app, and on this app, you can look at all the food stalls and order in advance. So that way, if there's long lines, you can place an order, you can wander away, and when your food's ready, it will notify you, and you can go back and pick up your food. Now, they've had ice skating here in the past. I didn't see much about it on their website, so I don't know if it's there, but I'm going to guess it probably is, because why wouldn't it be? Now, there is a cost to get into this Christmas market. It's about 500 yen. And while you're thinking that maybe that sounds like a lot of money, it's actually only like $3.50. So, ain't gonna break your bank to go into this really unique Christmas market. And I am exhausted. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to whittle this video down, but my filming time is now at 54 minutes. So I am done talking about Christmas markets for the day. If you enjoyed this video, and I hope you did because I enjoyed making it, please don't forget to like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Again, if there is something that you have a question about or something that you think I may have missed and need to address, I can do that in another video, of course. Please comment down below, or you can go to any of the social media websites and find me as Tipsy Travel Gal. I also do have a website, tipsytravelgal.com, and if you want to contact me there, in the menu bar at the top, if you go all the way to the right, there is the Contact Me page, and that will give you the ability to send me an email. So again, thanks so much for watching and hanging in there until the end. So good luck Christmas shopping, and until the next time, bye.